Welcome to Thou Shalt Not Kill, a podcast about marriage. Hosted by Scott and Ann Travis, this show speaks right to the heart of the challenges that couples face. As marriage veterans of 35 years, they've seen some shit, and they want to help you avoid the pitfalls that could fuck up your marriage. It's time to get your love affair with your spouse back on track to the place you've always hoped it would be, which is starting with the first rule: thou shalt not kill. Here's your hosts, Scott and Ann.
Welcome to Thou Shalt Not Kill,
a podcast on marriage.
It never gets old.
It doesn't. And we've been only doing this, a couple weeks now?
Yeah.
It's super fun.
Maybe it'll get old a couple months from now, but right now I think it's funny. Okay.
Maybe in a couple hours.
Maybe.
So how you been?
Good. How have you been?
I think I just woke up next to you, didn't I?
I think you just did. How lovely is that?
You even got makeup on and you are dressed. This is going to be something special.
And I smell like a pretty butterfly. Okay, moving on.
So we got up and decided to do one. Actually, we didn't decide to do one. We do one every week. And I wanted to talk about something, but all of a sudden, Miss Ann,
Miss Feisty Pants,
Miss Huge Feisty Pants, decided, nope, I think I want to talk about this. And I'm like, and once you hear what it is, it's going to be kind of fun because I had to submit into my femininity on it.
No, you did not.
No. So what do you want to talk about?
Masculinity and femininity.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm masculine.
I know you are. I love it. And I support it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today.
You want to support masculinity?
I want to support your masculinity. Yeah, I do want to support masculinity in general.
Why do you think masculinity is an issue?
Because I think that men have been demasculated in this country. I think that masculinity has been turned into a bunch of propaganda words like oppressor, controller, things like that.
Objectifier.
Whereas I think let's just support our men and let our men be men, because isn't that what we want? That's what I want. I want a masculine male. I want my husband to be masculine. I want to feel protected. I want to feel like I can look up to my masculine husband. It turns me on. I like it.
Okay.
And I think conversely, as a female, I don't have to act like a man to be strong. And we've touched on this before.
Well, here's a question though. Not even a question, but here's a statement: is you ran your company in a fully male dominated industry. Mm-hmm. So were you real feminine in that, or were you real masculine in that?
I was myself. I was feminine. I didn't have to act like a man to get my point across. Perfect. I didn't have to be belligerent. I just assigned masculinity another tagline, but I didn't have to act in a masculine manner to get my point across. Sometimes it's just calmly stating what you want and what you expect, and it just happens. And I think the emphasis on that is calm.
Calm in a sense of how
calm and authoritative, but a female can be authoritative.
Well, yeah, anybody can be authoritative.
The feminine, then the female gets her little taglines like bitchy, pushy, naggy. You know what I mean? But I think that we throw all those away and just run with it.
So we're in our relationship, since it's a relationship about us and kind of our experiences.
And that's where the basis of everything comes from.
About us.
For us, yeah.
It's us. It's all about us, guys. 1,000%. This is just about us.
Welcome to our world.
Welcome to our podcast. So how can we relate this in our relationship as far as masculine and feminine? I think that we both have both roles in it, and I think that every relationship has both roles in it.
Well, I think every person has both masculine and feminine energy.
Okay, but I'm specifically talking in our relationship. We're a podcast of 35 years, so obviously we've both gone into the masculine role and the feminine role. But yeah, I think that even if I step into a quote unquote feminine role, I'm still masculine in that and don't give up my manhood. I
mean, it's kind of hard because you're coming against what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotypes, right? So Scott loves to cook. Scott loves to cook. He's a great cook. I love that Scott cooks because I'm not a great cook. And some people would say that's feminine. But how many great chefs do you see and they don't strike me as feminine? So it's kind of like working around the stereotypes, all that kind of thing. But the message that I wanted to bring today is to support your man in his masculinity. Let's support our men in masculinity. Ignore what society is saying today, because I think half the crap that we're hearing through the media, let me change that. 95% of the crap that we're hearing from the media and everybody else is, in my opinion, bullshit.
Well, here's just from discussions that we've had in the last couple of days is understanding as a man, you have to stand into that though. You can't all of a sudden, let's just say you're dating. I mean, now I'm kind of going on a dating spin with it. So if you're dating and your girl brings in the more money than you and everything else, it's almost like there's a label right from the beginning. You have to stand up in your masculinity. And how am I trying to say this? I think that you get put in, as a man, you get put into a position where you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to, and it's not about money and it's not about a status in the world. It's about you. It's about who you are. And really, if you don't know who you are, how are you going to bring the best masculine person to the relationship?
I think that's a topic for another day. I mean, that's a whole different rabbit hole that we could go down. But I agree with you. People need to be who they are. Like, be genuine, be who you are. And by masculine, I don't mean you have to beat your chest. I don't mean you have to act, just be yourself. Like, celebrate who you are. But in that, I think that women need to celebrate that too.
Well, I think in a sense that a lot of women step into a masculine role and think that they have to be a man.
Well, I think there's a lot of confusion on what strength looks like.
Oh, you're a strong ass woman. There's no question about that. And
I agree with that.
And yeah, I think that we work well together because we're both pretty strong in it. But in the fact that when we've gone through, ups and downs in our relationship, someone has got to take the charge. There was a time when I was very insecure, I had lost a lot of money, and it was pretty much, I want to say it's my fault, but that's kind of being a puss about it. It wasn't my fault. It was just circumstances that happened. So I felt really demasculated in the fact that I wasn't being the one that was going to provide the most for it. And then you made more money than me at that time.
But that was a narrative in your head. That wasn't something that I was doing to make you feel that way.
100%.
Right.
No, so I think that's another spin on it. It's like us as guys can get into our head. It's like, what does my wife, think about this? It's like, well, I never really spoke about it. I just sulked about it. I mean, plain and simple.
Yeah, that was a rough patch.
I was being a total bitch. I mean, that's exactly what it was. I never, the big thing on it is communication. I always preach that communication. Well, I was not communicating with my wife. I was not communicating with Ann that, you know what, I feel like a loser. I feel like a piece of shit. I feel like I let you down, everything else, while she's just, going to work and bringing money home and everything is going good, while I'm sitting here being, again, a little bitch and being, feel sorry for me.
Well, I think you're going through you just lost a significant amount of money. I think that you were going through a rough patch, a super rough patch. I mean, it was hard to wrap our heads around. And it wasn't that you were being a bitch. It was that you were trying to sort through a huge loss. I mean, it's okay to lick your wounds and go through that period of time. And for all the times that you supported me and all the times that you've brought the money home and all the years that I got to stay home with the kids and raise children, do you think that I begrudged you that I was no, I was delighted that I could do that.
I never felt it in that way, but I'm trying to relate it to masculine and feminine. I felt demasculated as a man by doing that for my family and for my wife. So I think that you have to again, it goes all back with yourself. You have to fix yourself before you can fix someone else.
I agree with that.
You have to be strong in yourself. You have to be confident in what you bring to the table in your relationship. Now, I go ahead.
I was just going to say, but how much worse would that have been if I was in the background telling you that you're a piece of shit? I can't believe you did this. Yeah. I can't believe you put us in this position, which you didn't put us in a position.
Yeah, and I never heard that.
No.
Never.
And that's, I think, the point I want to make on this discussion today is, are you supporting your husband? Are you supporting your partner?
Are you supporting your wife?
Or your wife. But right now I'm talking about masculinity. Okay. Or are you tearing that person down? Like, allow your partner the space to be as great as they can be. They can't be great if you're in the background, tearing them down, putting them down.
And you know what? I'm just gonna reiterate the fact that is one thing that Ann is fucking amazing at. she's never put me down. I mean, she doesn't, I can't even think of one time.
I don't.
No, I don't. And conversely, I think we've said it. If we haven't, we'll do it on another touch. I was an asshole. I was not that person. I would put her down.
We've touched on that.
Yeah,
it's
but
over.
I know it's totally over, but I'm just saying that, if you could teach women and men how to do that, I mean, it's the craziest thing. I'm learning how to do it. I'm obviously learning very well from a master.
I don't know about that. For me, words are like bullets. Mm-hmm. Once they're out, they can cause a ton of damage. You can't take them back. An apology isn't going to take away something that was super hurtful.
Right.
We went through this recently with somebody in our own family, and we're still dealing with the fallout on that from this particular person. But so I'm really careful in what I say to my husband, because I love him, and my role is to support him and be loving. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to put him down. What's the purpose of that? Have we ever gotten in fights and I've said things that I regretted? 100%. But generally, even when we're fighting and I'm super angry, it doesn't go to those kind of things.
What do you,
I mean, here's a put down. I mean, I have called you a fucking asshole before.
well,
but I haven't
guess
personalized
that's right.
it in that I don't take it further than that. I mean, how much further do you want to go? But you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking individual aspects of your personality and turning them against you.
Right. Well,
I really try to buoy him up, like as in B-O-U-Y, like a buoy.
Buoy him up. No, is it called buoy?
I don't know. Who cares? Let's use a different term. Anyway, I try to make
uplift.
Yeah, and support. Uplift and support.
Yeah, we've been, and that's a big thing too. It's like we really are each other's champion. I mean, cheerleader. But going back to masculine and feminine, I think what do you see as a masculine trait? As a woman, what do you see as a masculine trait?
I love a take charge attitude, which you have.
A take charge attitude?
I mean, you just take control of things and you handle it.
What's another one?
I do love confidence, which you've become a lot more confident.
I started out very confident. I went down in my confidence.
You took a hit.
I took a hit. And then I feel, honestly, I think, and I think the confidence comes from when you work on yourself and you find out who you are.
I agree.
I think that has been the biggest change over the last few years in myself, is being comfortable with myself. Mm-hmm. And I think that was probably the last year of being comfortable with myself and still learning and still growing in that.
I think you got a lot of that from Journey Space too.
100%. 1,000,420%. So
I think, and the reason I'm bringing this topic up today is I think there's so much frustration in relationships, and I'm going to generalize. I don't know what your specific situation is. You don't know what my specific situation is, but here's the thing. If you were, say I was mean to you, say I tore you down all the time, say whatever you did, I had a bitchy response. I didn't thank you for the things that you do. I didn't acknowledge the things that I appreciate. And I was just shitty to you. How are you supposed to have confidence? How are you supposed to be the man that I want you to be?
But here's the deal. A lot of guys kind of like that. In a sense where, and I'm going to back up, where you start a relationship like that, it's like, oh, it's kind of cute. And I think that's a lot of what happens is you get comfortable in the beginning with saying, oh, damn, you look fat. Or, oh, why don't you change this? Or the woman goes, guy, don't you think you can get a better job? It's like those little nitpicky things at the beginning that turn into huge boat anchors that stall your relationship.
It's a fine line. There's a fine line between being sassy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have a friend that is so funny. Like, she'll just tell her husband, shut the fuck up, but she adores him and he adores her and she's not putting him down. Or, quit being such a dick. I mean, she's just funny, but it never is. But
there's their relationship.
There's no malice or bad intent
right.
there.
That's the relationship. It's, and the things that we say, I mean, literally, we've been again, we're at this 35, 36 years. I mean, we've had people at our house go, oh my God, that's total divorce court. It's like, because we talk to each other in a certain way, but
your mom touched on that when she was with us at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah. I mean, and I think we said that before, but it happened early with your sisters. I mean, remember your sisters would say, oh my God, total divorce court. If you don't remember, you got this blank stare on your face. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Disclosure. I have a horrible memory. Yeah, horrible. I don't retain
which is
memories very well.
kind of good because there's no, wait a minute. You do have a good memory. You have a very good memory.
For what?
For shit that I've done wrong. So no.
And how often do I bring that up?
No, you don't. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like, I think I remember more of the bad shit that I've done than she has.
Just let it go. Who cares?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I think the thing is as a guy sometimes, and again, like we said, we're speaking general and we're talking strictly about us and our relationship and our experiences that will hopefully relate, and you guys can relate to some of the things that we can bring to the table. Is what do you just shake your head for?
Oh no, I'm not shaking my head.
Okay.
I'm just thinking. I think that we're almost talking in too many generalities that we're not really specifically saying how we.
Okay, specifically, we know these people.
No,
no. I'm the issue that I think that brought this up is, we see it in certain people and through our past that men come as a, I almost want to say like a sheep. You know, it's like the wife or the girlfriend has got this. I'm sorry, and I'll say the exact same thing. I'm sorry, pussy is pussy. I mean, if the woman's treating you like shit and that's what you're in it for, there's more reasons to get a girlfriend, or that's not the reason to get married. I mean, that's what we thought in the beginning. I thought, oh man, all I'm going to do is screw all day and eat and then bring home a check and it's going to be great. Then all of a sudden, fucking boom, life hits you. I mean, you wake up to, oh my God, I got to do this shit again. It's like, oh, she's going to figure out where, I got to tell her where I'm going after work. It's like, why do I have to do that? And obviously that's in the beginning of the relationship and we have none of that issues. We never really have.
Yeah, but little things like that are what create little things like telling somebody where you're going to be. That's just considerate.
Well, that's a total different thing where I'm going on with it. But I think that as a guy, you've got to, you heard it right here from Ann. Confidence. A woman wants confidence. I believe majority of women want a confident man. They're not. I don't think the woman wants to be the be all do all.
No, she doesn't.
But there's some women that think that that's what she has to do to become equal as a man.
But we're not equal. We're not equal. We're different.
Wow, that's gonna turn some shit off right there.
And let me expand on that. I'm not
stand in that because I believe
I'm not changing my tune. To me, equality means the same. We're not the same. Do we have the same status level in the relationship? Do we have the same amount of respect for each other? Those kind of things. Yes, I do think that is the same. Do we have the same ability to do different things? It depends on what those things are. So. But I don't see us as equal because I don't see us as the same. But okay. I think that I'm unique. I'm unique in my abilities. I'm unique in what I like to do. Do you think that we're
equal in our relationship as far as status, as far as what, if anything I can do, you can do?
No, that's not true.
Name something.
I don't know how to change a tire.
Well, that's stupid shit. No, that's man and woman. I'm talking about relationships. If change the fucking tire.
Hang on. It would drive me crazy if I was in a relationship with a man that couldn't change a tire.
Why? We got AAA.
It doesn't matter. Like, learn some skills. You're capable. You know how to do those things. And that increases my respect for you, is your capability in doing so many of the things that you do. If I need something fixed, you know how to do it. You have tools, you have knowledge, you have skills, and that's sexy.
I have a credit card too.
Oh, that's so sexy.
No, but I understand that. So, but I can pretty much say that I can do almost everything you can do.
I think that you could do almost everything I do. Yeah, I don't think that my skill set isn't as unique as your skill set, in my opinion. But I'm fine with that. The stuff I like to do, you don't like to do, so I'm not threatened by that. But
that's kind of interesting. I just kind of think about it. It's like, I'm kind of confident in the fact that I could say I could do anything you can do, but you're confident in the fact that you say that you can't do everything I can do.
And I'm fine with that. I don't want to do everything you can do.
Besides lifting heavy shit and changing a tire around the house and in our relationship. It's way
more involved than that, sweetheart.
No, I understand it's way more involved than that, but what I'm saying is it's kind of interesting that I'm confident in the fact that I can do anything you can do, but you're not confident in the fact that you can't do everything I can do.
It's not a lack of confidence. I just know that I can't do everything that you do. If I wanted to, I suppose I could apply myself and learn how to do it, and I could do it. Why would I do that? I don't want to do it.
I get it.
I don't give a shit about changing my tire. You're right. We do have AAA.
Yeah, you're on a tire kick. It's not.
You're on a tire kick.
You brought it up.
Let's go somewhere else.
Go ahead.
This is getting stupid.
No, it's not. It's perfect.
The point I'm making is, who cares about equality? I don't care about equality. I think that there's days where I do more. I think there's days where you do more.
100%.
Yeah. I mean,
but we're equal. But I'm still going to go on the fact that I think that we're totally equal in our marriage.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of give and take.
So you just said that
party.
You just said that we're not equal in the marriage.
Because I don't look at it in terms of equality.
I don't either. But for this discussion is what I'm trying to get across. And you're going masculine. I don't think you're as masculine as me. I think you can be. I think you can totally be as masculine as me because I've seen it in the fact of you running your own company and not taking up a bunch of bullshit. But I'll also say that you would handle it 100%. 180 degrees different than I would handle it. So I think there's the difference. I think masculinity isn't, like you said, pounding your chest, rah, rah, rah. I think women have a masculinity that's more silent. You anyway.
If you want to call it masculinity. Anyway. So here's the thing. I was in construction. I was in construction for 17 years. I dealt with men all day long, every day. All my guys that work for me, vendors, all kinds of people. And not all my vendors were men. I had some terrific lady vendors that I work with. But, and I think everybody was very comfortable. Because, I don't know. Let's just move on.
No.
But I could be in that world and not have to be masculine. I didn't have to be masculine. I could just be myself.
Right.
I was confident. So
confident. So that's kind of where I was going with it. So confidence and masculinity, do you believe that those are two separate things?
Oh yeah, of course.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can be confident in a feminine role and confident in a masculine role. And hence, like you touched on before, I love to cook. I'm an artist. I mean, that's about as foo-foo shit you can get. But I still think I'm confident in the fact that if you want to call that a feminine, okay, I'm a confident feminine artist that makes money. Fuck you.
You're not a feminine artist.
But I'm just saying, if you think that is a quote unquote feminine trait in someone,
I don't.
I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying that outside in the world, before I did all this, before I started painting and started really feeling confident there's a stupid, comfortable in what I was doing. I always looked at it as like, they don't do anything. Just like cooking food. It's like anybody can cook food, but then you can't.
I can.
Not you, but
anybody can cook food, right?
Right.
But only certain people put passion into it, love into it.
Yeah.
If I make you dinner, it's meat. It's something on a plate. If Scott makes you dinner, it's beautiful.
Not
and
always.
It's delicious.
Not always, but
if you're making a special dinner, your dinner looks special. If I make a special dinner, it still looks like yesterday's dinner.
Got to make sure that the can opener works.
That's for sure.
So we started this whole thing on masculine.
Well, we went off on 100 tangents.
That's all right. We're going to do that every day. I don't really care. So masculine and feminine. So you prefer a masculine man, just like I would imagine most women prefer a masculine man.
And for me, masculinity is not belligerence. It's not being overbearing. It's not being
dominant.
There's a certain level of dominance. I like that. We'll be right back. Your turn.
That stopped real quick. No, I don't. We went on the start with the masculine and feminine, and kind of where I thought we were going to go with it is I think as a man, that's where confidence and masculinity to me are like tied together. Because I think that the more masculine I am, the more confident I am.
I think, if I can interject for a sec, I think that men in the United States get a raw deal. I really do. I feel like for some reason we've degraded masculinity where I feel that it should be supported. I feel that in me allowing you to be you and you allowing me to be me, it creates a strong relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think that I'm kind of going bullet point by bullet point right now, but I think that words have tremendous power. And I think that words can be used to build your partner up. And clearly, I think, especially in a country where there's so much divorce, there's so many single single moms raising kids, that kind of thing. That masculinity is a process. I think over time it takes a while for men to learn how to be masculine. So you've got all this pressure to be masculine. No one's teaching you how to be masculine. I see it sometimes with people that we know that don't have a father in their lives.
That's what I was just going to go with.
Struggling to find themselves. And so I think that women could be very helpful in that, in just being supportive and not degrading that masculinity. Support it. Help him nurture it. That's where the feminine energy comes in and supports the masculine energy, in my opinion.
So the feminine energy actually boosts the masculine energy in the man. Is that what you're saying?
I think feminine energy has a great amount of power in not just boosting masculinity, but also in tearing masculinity down.
Okay. So then are you saying that the feminine role has a major part in the masculinity of a man?
I think so. And I'm not talking about the mothering feminine role. I'm talking about the partner feminine role. But if I'm supporting my husband in his masculinity, if I'm trying to nourish his confidence and I'm nourishing who he is and I am there supporting whatever he does. And I'm not saying, what are you doing? That's kind of sexy stuff. He's got the wire in his mouth. Anyway, flustered. Anyway, I think that a woman has a power to boost you up. I think a woman also has a power to tear you down.
Oh, 100%.
And the ones that tear you down, I think that's a huge red flag, and I think they are to be avoided.
So
if you're looking for a successful relationship.
So do you think that a successful relationship can have a masculine woman and a feminine man?
If that's what they're comfortable with, yes, I do.
Interesting. So then it's all about who your partner is and adapting to what your partner is. So if you're a feminine man, and you have a masculine woman, so this is kind of interesting. So do you think that two masculine can get along or two feminine can get along? Because if I take it as two masculine get along, there's no fucking way that relationship's going to work.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think you're right.
Why? It's been two bulls in a china shop.
Okay, so just look at people in general, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got your marriage where you've got men and women. Right. You've got a masculine and a feminine energy.
That's all we're talking about. Whether it's the
man or the woman.
That's all we're talking about is a heterosexual. That's our people.
No. I want to expand on that. But if you go into a homosexual relationship,
I don't know anything about a homosexual relationship.
But hang on, you still see masculine and feminine roles.
Correct.
You still have, excuse the expression, you still have a top or a bottom.
Correct.
You still have a feminine person and a more masculine person, and maybe that is more. That goes not just. It goes beyond the feminine masculine energy into the dominant submissive energy. And I think you can do either or, but for me, I'm comfortable being feminine and you being masculine.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm trying to give out a message of support your husband in his masculinity or support your partner in their masculinity.
And let's just go with that. I think that's what's helped us last as long as we have.
I think so too. And I look at other marriages of couples that we're friends with, marriages that are successful, happy marriages, and you can tell. And we know some really strong women.
Oh, 100%.
And they're in great relationships.
Yeah.
I'm a strong woman. I'm not worried about my strength. I like it. But I don't have to tear you down for me to feel strong.
Correct. And I think as a man that's married to a very, here comes confident, not masculine by any stretch of the imagination, but a very confident woman, it kind of gives me, it turns me on that you're so confident in the fact on where we're at. I mean, obviously, after 35 years, we've gone through these ups and downs, but I think realistically, my confidence has gone down at times way more than Ann's, way more. And I don't know if that's just the male, whatever, but I think I've gone through more roller coasters in my strength, in my masculine strength.
You take bigger risks than I do.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't think I would be as confident as I am if you weren't.
So taking
if you weren't who you are, because you're loving and supportive. Well, it makes it's easy for me to go out and take over the world. I don't care. I've got you by my side.
So you light the match and I bring the hose. Is that what you're saying?
We're invincible.
That's pretty cool that you said that though. That's cool.
True. It's the truth. And I just think in a relationship, a successful relationship, you guys should be supporting each other anyway.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I could throw so many names right now of people whose marriages are so great.
Mm-hmm. And I could throw a whole shit pot full of names whose marriages are like, that's not going to last another 2 years.
But we don't want to be around those marriages. We want to be around the people that are working it.
There's another key to keeping your marriage happy. Hang around, excuse me, surround yourself with those that are enjoying each other.
That are successful relationships.
That are successful.
Yep.
Yeah. You go out with Bob who hates his wife, Mary, and go drinking with him, but you're having a great relationship and all you hear is fucking Mary's just a piece of shit. And then, your wife goes out and Bob's just a piece of shit. It's like, that shit's going to come home.
Here's the deal.
That shit will come home as far as you start. I mean, we've done a podcast on it
before.
Yeah. It's like, I want to take her side. His side and you take her side. That shit will be destruction in your marriage.
Yeah. It's danger.
Yeah.
Danger, Will Robinson.
So kind of, I mean, I don't know what the action steps are. It's like,
the action steps are using words of encouragement and affirmation, like be good to your partner. Talking women, be good to your men be good to your women. If you're in a different kind of relationship, be good to your partner. Why aren't we? Why are people tearing each other down? Your relationship should be your sanctuary. Mm-hmm. It should be your safe place.
And let the other one, I mean, the big thing with us is, and I've had to get better at it and everything else, but is to listen. Just fucking listen.
Oh my God, you are a great listener.
But listen, but the thing about it is like really listen. Listen to what they're saying.
Scott hears everything that comes out of my mouth. I can say that with 100% certainty. I'll mention something in passing, and the next thing I know, it's here. Yeah,
but I'm not going off on that tangent. What I wanted to say is like, yes, I listen on a daily basis, hourly. But when shit hits the fan and you have a concern where we're having an argument or a discussion or a disagreement, listen to that person.
Right. You're great at that.
I know that I'm not.
I'm the one that's not as great at that.
We're saying action steps. I'm talking to everybody.
Oh yeah, you guys
else.
listen.
I'm not talking to you.
I think we just illustrated exactly what you're talking about.
She never listens. So, with that, guys, I think that be confident, masculine, feminine.
Be supportive.
Be supportive in
be
your
loving.
in your husband. Be supportive in your wife. Whatever role you guys take in your relationship to make your relationship work. But you heard it from a woman's standpoint, and you've heard my issues about being in the masculine standpoint, and I think that's it.
I think that's a wrap.
I think I'm going to go put that cable back in my mouth because it seemed to like really turn her on, and I have no idea why.
Oh no, I was sexy.
All right, guys. With that, I appreciate all you guys, and until next time, this is
Thou Shalt Not Kill,
a podcast on marriage. Thanks, guys.